The national narrative around the Bengals this week, well, it has gone too far. It's time to dive in to the most ridiculous thing I heard this week, plus the Joe Burrow narrative. And yes, people are still talking about paying Jamar Chase. Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of BengalsTalk.com. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and join the 46,000 plus Bengals fans that are already calling this their go-to spot on YouTube. For more, make sure you check out BengalsTalk.com, an SI site. And let's dive into by the way, this video is brought to you by SportsDataGuru.com. Use promo code BengalsTalk, all capitals, to get 50% off your first month. Let's dive into these national narratives, these crazy narratives, these narratives that honestly, I have no idea where the hell they came from or who the hell decided to go with this logic. In I'm going to give you one good one that makes sense, and even if I don't fully agree with it, I understand it, and you don't have to fully agree, but I respect the take and the opinion. And then I'm going to give you two, quite frankly, ridiculous ones. I was gonna say a worse word, but I'm trying not to make anyone angry at me for cursing, including Andrew. Andrew would be so mad. James, I can't believe you cursed. YouTube's not gonna like that. Earlier this week, I reported that the Bengals and Jamar Chase weren't able to get a deal done. They offered him 4 years, 140 million, $90 million guaranteed. None of that guaranteed money kicked in until after the 2026 season. No deal. And not shocking that Jamar didn't take that deal. And Stephen A. Smith was not happy about it. Here's Stephen A. on Jamar Chase.
You are listening to a guy and looking at a guy right now who hopes Cincinnati loses every single damn game they play until they sign that man and they give him his money.
So Stephen A. Smith not exactly excited about the Bengals not paying Jamar Chase. And I get that. That's the take I respect. Even if you disagree with it, I get it. By the way, I'm in the Pay Jamar camp. I've been in the Pay Jamar camp. I'll continue to be in the Pay Jamar camp. Heck, when I thought that they were able to potentially lock him up for a 4-year deal, I said 4 years, 150 million, 115 million guaranteed. So there's where my mind was when it came to a Jamar Chase 4-year extension. I don't think anything happens this year. Regardless, that's setting up these two takes. One's about Joe Burrow, I'm going to get to in a second. Stephen A. drops a respectable take, and then he says this. And look, you can call Mike Brown a lot of things, but Donald Sterling isn't one of them.
With his notoriously cheap ass self, okay? He was considered the damn Donald Sterling of the National Football League.
It's the most asinine, ridiculous thing of the week. Of the week. The worst thing said on any of these national shows is that. Comparing Mike Brown, who everyone can call cheap, everyone can complain about what he does football-wise or how he runs his football team. I've never heard anyone say anything bad about Mike Brown, the human. And so to compare him to Donald Sterling, who is known as a trash human, Google him if you don't know. He's a former Los Angeles Clippers owner. To compare the two because you believe that Mike Brown should have paid Jamar Chase is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But here we are. We're in ridiculous season. And ridiculous season somehow has flipped into national narratives about the Bengals. And again, I agreed with the first one. Pay Jamar Chase. I get it. And I get taking the strong stance of I hope they lose every game. Fine. I get the logic there. But the Sterling part of this is just it's insane. It really is. It's insane. And the worst take of the week certainly goes to Stephen Smith. Up next, you're going to hear the worst take of the week about JB9. We will do that. But first, a word from Data Guru. SportsDataGuru.com is where you need to go right now. Really excited about this partnership. You go there, and if you're wagering on anything NFL or you're planning on doing it, anything NFL, need Sports Data Guru because Sports Data Guru is going to give you all of the necessary data points that you need in one spot. Schedule breakdowns, home and away splits, player stats, detailed team breakdowns, injury reports, weather walkthroughs or weather, excuse me, considerations and reports as well, all in one spot. So you don't have to go anywhere else. And it's $24 for the year. Or You could go month to month. Right now, use promo code Bengals Talk at sportsdataguru.com for 50% off your first month. Again, that's promo code Bengals Talk at sportsdataguru.com for 50% off your first month. All right, let's get to Mr. James Jones. Mr. James Jones. I'm sure you saw this, but maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't see James Jones call Joe Burrow an average. He's an average quarterback. That's how bad the Stephen A. Smith take on Mike Brown was when it came to the Donald Sterling comp is this easily would have been clown take of the week by James Jones. But instead, Stephen A said, "Get out of the way. I'm going to make a ridiculous comment about Mike Brown that has nothing to do with football and everything to do with the human." Fine. All right. Done. Eh, let's talk about the other element here. And by the way, I'm sure Stephen A would say, "I'm talking about the owner." No, no, no. Can't compare him to Donald Sterling. Trash. Trash comp, Stephen A. All right, let's get to James Jones, who says Joey B is average.
Joe Burrow without top elite wide receivers is average. He was supposed to be the second best quarterback in football. Everybody praising that you the only one that could challenge Patrick Mahomes and all this. Well, the last year and a half, you can't. You have not been a good quarterback.
Honestly, kick him off the set. Like he's the guy at the barbershop that says something, and it's like, man, get out of the chair and get the hell out of here. Like you're not allowed to be in the conversation anymore. Like, that's literally what should happen to James Jones. He should be put in timeout, not allowed to go get his hair cut until the end of football season, until he admits that it's a bad take. Joe Burrow is an average quarterback when he doesn't have elite weapons. He's won without Jamar Chase. He's won without T. Higgins. He's won with awful offensive line play. Awful offensive line play. But let's just pretend that it's all about the defense and the coaching, and that's why he's won, all of those things. And wow, man, the Super Bowl was multiple years ago, James. What do you think? Okay, well, let's go and let's look at Joe Burrow's stats over the past 2 years, over the past 20 games to be specific, because he missed some time last year, so 20 games. So basically, you remember the New Orleans game where Jamar Chase hurt his hip and leads them downfield and is comeback city in his hometown, and then they beat the Falcons after that. Well, let's start with the New Orleans game. So that's October 16th, 2022. So from October 16th, 2022, all the way until November 12th, 2023, Joe Burrow, 20 starts, completed 68.5% of his passes. So nearly 69% of his passes, had 40 passing touchdowns, 4 rushing touchdowns, 13 interceptions, had a 99 quarterback rating, averaged 317 yards per game passing, and was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL over that span. By the way, led the Bengals to 10 straight wins, including 2 playoff wins. And yeah, so sometimes he gets off to slow starts when he's dealing with a calf injury. Sometimes he gets off to slow starts when he's coming back from a unprecedented wrist injury. That doesn't mean that Joe Burrow isn't still Joe Burrow. That doesn't mean that the praise and James Jones went on to this long thing about people overrate him and they don't criticize him like they criticize other people. Joe Burrow takes a ton of criticism, man. He takes criticism for what he wears. He takes criticism because his arm isn't as strong as Josh Allen. He takes criticism because he doesn't have the athleticism that Lamar Jackson has. He takes criticism because he doesn't have rings. All of those things. And yet, I look at Joe Burrow and he continues to win. Last year, when his calf was right, what happened? He was in the MVP conversation. The Bengals win 5 straight games and should have beat Houston. Wasn't his fault, necessarily, or 4 straight games, excuse me. And they're rolling now. They had the lead on Baltimore. Think about that. They had the lead on Baltimore until he got injured. This idea that he's an average quarterback without Jamar Chase, an average quarterback without T. Higgins, I'll sell that all day long. Joe Burrow isn't average. We remember what it was like pre-Joe Burrow. An average quarterback doesn't change the trajectory of the Cincinnati Bengals the way Joe Burrow has over the past 4+ seasons. Make sure that you get to Data Guru today. Again, that is sportsdataguru.com. Promo code Bengals Talk. You will get 50% off your first month. Check it out. I know we have a lot of sports bettors on this channel. Check it out today at sportsdataguru.com. We have one more video ahead of Sunday's matchup against the Chiefs. What I'll be watching for. Stay tuned for that. Hit that subscribe button. Check out all of our videos from this week, whether it was Enter the Jungle, our Jamar Chase breaking news story, an exclusive that you didn't get anywhere else, and much, much more right here on CBT. For Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching Cincinnati Bengals Talk.